I got it covered. It opened up the shed door. It covered because they had no way.
But they walk for a while and then they pull stuff. I made it into a poster because I asked my mother.
Maybe you can scroll down.
That's right. They don't. Yes. That instead.
Call the meeting to order, November 5th.
Scrounged up some boxes so I don't need them. I have plenty. I'm sorry. That's okay. My neighbor has Amazon delivered just about every day. Sounds good. Thank you.
Hello, okay. I'm going to call the meeting to order, November 5th at 10 o'clock. If we could all please, is there anybody recording? No one recording, okay. I'm going to have everyone stand for a moment of silent meditation and then the pledge of allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this is a town hall and we're going to concentrate on the budget today. So when you have questions, just get in line and ask the questions and we'll go from there. Any questions? Okay.
Did you hear me if I don't use this? Or? No.
Got it. If we're done, this question is about Social Security as percentage of wages. Scott Townhall, and I think it's 4, we're on South Third Drive.
Speaker.
Okay. The question is on Social Security payments and wages. If we've done our math correctly, it looks like we're paying 6.395% for administration wages, 7.271% for facilities, and 7.65% for public works. And we're wondering why the difference, number one, and number two, we believe that 7.65% is the correct number for wages to be paid.
I think more, but I'll hold on.
Okay, I believe we can answer that. When we figured those out to start with, that was based on what was here, and then it came up to about $57. So we started cutting things right and left, and the only thing we figured we could cut was not the wages, but cut the Social Security, because we don't know exactly what we're going to pay a especially on administrative. We got in the budget $60,000 to $70,000 for GM. We don't know what they're gonna come in at. Are they gonna come in at 60,000? Are they gonna come in at 70? So we finally got cut down to basically $55 and about 70 cents. And we needed about between $5,000 and $10,000. The easiest thing to cut was the Social Security in that part. That's why that figure's not quite the percentage you're looking for. We've already explained that already, probably about a week and a half ago to, I don't know his name came in, but anyway, he asked me about the Social Security.
You can't just spend.
Well, if you don't spend 100,
You can't.
okay, if you don't spend $163,000 exactly on salary, and you spend 155, that's gonna be a lower amount. No matter how you look at it, you're not gonna spend $12,000 or $13,000 on whatever the Social Security is, because you're only paying $60,000 for GM, not 70.
What you pay doesn't matter, it's still a percentage, Social Security is a percentage.
Right,
It's
I
set by
get
the
that.
state.
I get
Well,
that.
you can't reduce the percentage.
This is a estimate.
Well, the other one's
Argue about this
estimated
all you
at the
want
right
to,
amount.
but I'm saying to you, like, if I get go somewhere and I get paid $25 an hour, my Social Security is gonna be less if I make $20 an hour.
It's still gonna be 7.65% of the $20
It's
or
gonna
the
be, I'll
25.
argue that point with you.
Okay, it can't be 6%. You
I
can't
know
have
that.
6%
I
for
know
admin.
that, but that's why it's
7.5
lower
for
than the
everybody.
12,240.
That's not answering the question, Jerry. That's not answering the question. How can you change the percentage? It should be set. It should be set in this Excel
I didn't
spreadsheet.
change the percentage, I changed the dollar amount.
You need to
It was
change the percentage, is what he's telling you.
$5.45.
He's telling you the formula's wrong. You need to change the percentage.
Your formula's wrong. You're arguing with me
He said
over
the
something.
formula
that's
is
not this.
wrong on your spreadsheet. It should be an automatic calculation. On whatever number you put in there, it should be 7.65, not 6% for some and 7.65 for others.
Jerry acknowledges that yes, that's the percentage. However, the wages are fluid. There might have to be more additions because of GMs, and there might have to be deductions or it might be less, if we can't get back up to a fuller staff. So it's
I
not,
understand what you're saying.
in my opinion, that I don't believe Social Security being wrong is a deal breaker. I agree that in future years, they should try to do the percentage correctly.
Well, they should fix it on this one.
Should we,
It's wrong, it's wrong.
should we take a vote that the due should be 56? Well, if we have to put more in Social Security, then the budget is basically a sum total. We have to, and it's an estimate, it's a good faith estimate. Why? Because the Finance Committee looks at the figures in June. In July through December, the price of gas could go up and fuel would go up. If we had TECO, which we don't, we have REC, the electric could go up to 5%. And then that number would be off. So it's a good faith estimate. And these numbers might be different throughout the year. The printing might cost more. Anything could cost more or less, depending on how the board sources its operations.
Okay, so you're telling me a number you're giving me for wages for admin, approximately. Number you're giving me for facilities, approximately. Facilities is gonna pay, whether it goes up or down, 7.65 in Social Security. The admin is not.
No, everybody will be paying 7.65. But what is your solution, I guess?
Well, I know your figure's wrong. You should fix the figures that are going to be exact.
Okay,
will also
next
hear
year we will make
7.6.
sure that that's correct, and we apologize for any error in admin this year.
My name is Joe Fox, Unit 4. I have a RV in the RV storage area, and I was buying that around July. And since then, I've been faithfully donating $50. No one can tell me how much is in this donation fund. No one can tell me where it's at. No one can tell me what it's here for or earmarked for. And I would really like to know where my good faith donations are at.
Who have you asked? When you say no one has been able to tell you, have you asked
Started
Jerry?
with Greg and Mr. Dahl, okay, who's been running it. He didn't even know I was, when Greg got ill, okay? He called me thinking I still needed a space, okay? And then I said, no, I've been there since July. I've been donating $50 a month. He says, we have no visibility on it.
Have you been writing a check?
I'm sorry. Yes, I
You've
have.
written a check, it
Oh,
says
yes,
for
I have a
RV
canceled
compound.
check.
Then Jerry Foster will know how much is in the RV. Isn't there a line item, Jerry,
No.
for RV donations? No? Donated funds.
Donated funds for the RV compound, when I printed it out last week for the RV committee that was in there, we have new people doing it, and I printed it out, it was $11,600 and some dollars for the RV. I don't know the exact total, they have it, I just printed it out and gave it to, the people on that committee. So it is still there, it's not going nowhere.
Is there anybody from the RV compound committee here? No one that's on the RV compound committee? Okay.
Madam Vice President, my name is Jerry Milby, and I'm in Unit 3. And one of the difficulties I'm still having.
Speak up there, can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, one of the main difficulties that I have is not being able to see the impact of all of the losses in relative to our budget, the income that's coming in and flowing in. I saw the list that's in the November edition of the booklet that we did, and I see a lot of the individual comments and issues that have been raised that are being investigated by the Sheriff's Department. And I know that they'll have a good investigation. I have belief in that. But they're not going to address in their investigation, I don't believe, the things that we need for the budget. And my wife, we have a son that has been a career CFO, and he's worked with different corporations. He now has his own consulting firm in Arizona, and he has clients in California and Arizona. And I've talked to him about this, and he's indicated to me that the best way that we can get to the accurate bottom line picture of what we need based on the past experiences, the past difficulties, and to be able to project most accurately those financial needs that we're going to have to project for. And that is through a forensic audit. And so I would urge you, I don't see anything about a forensic audit from an auditing firm, but to be able to get the most accurate picture, I believe that's the best way to go. And we're going to be able to, because even now, without that kind of a picture, there may be needs that pops up later as more information becomes, apparent. And so the potential for a really accurate picture of the proposed needs for this 26 budget, we're just not going to be able to get to it unless we have that kind of an auditing to look at every detail and it's going to present it, from the basis of not criminality, but for the basis of all of the debits, the expenses, and in comparison to the incomes. So I would urge the board to really take a look at that and get a forensic audit, because we're even looking at potentially fraud from 23 and 24. And so that forensic audit can go back to as far back as needed to be able to track everything. They'll track it to the penny, in the funds. And so I would urge you to really consider that, and being able to get to a good picture. One other question I just had, do we have liability insurance? We do?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, I think I can comment on that as well. Because the GM has only been gone since July, and the bookkeeper's been gone since about May, we didn't really get to look at everything until they left, because a lot of things were, I won't say hidden, but you couldn't have access to it. Are they? Yes. So we do have insurance that covers this, that once the sheriff's department gives us a total of what they think is being gone, whichever way you want to say it, then we can turn that into the insurance, and the insurance will reimburse us for that. So we do have insurance on that. As far as the numbers go on here, like these line items, I know Jamie's going through it right now and looking at each individual line. And let's say, for example, let's use South Indian paper. I always use it because we could get a pallet of toilet paper or whatever that comes up here, but like one pallet goes down, or a half pallet goes down to the administrative, and it all gets filled up here. We have stopped that from the standpoint is we get all supplies come through the office now, so we can track, because I can tell you an example. There was the dishwashing detergent bought that goes in the washing machine to wash the towels along with the detergent. As long as you do that, as long as you buy dishwashing liquid, go in the washer to wash the towels when you've got already detergent. So that gives you something to think about. Also, we talked about the chemicals before at the pool. Okay, when Sapphire Pools did an inventory of the chemicals, they found four containers of chlorine left over from before. If you go out there now and they don't leave their chemicals here, they don't leave their empties here, that stack out of the pool now is about 25 containers. So where did they come from? They come from somebody's house, or somebody was borrowing it, or whatever. That pile is multiplying, because I just checked it 2 weeks ago when the heater was vandalized on the pool, and there wasn't about half that amount. So I noticed that somebody's been throwing them over the fence in the back, and Sapphire Pools has been stacking them up because it's not theirs, and we can take them back and get credit, like a $2 deposit on it. So that's something to think about.
Hi, Janet Strickland, Unit 6. Two questions. Sorry, Janet Strickland, Unit 6. I thought I was speaking loudly enough. Two questions. And looking both at the profit and loss previous year comparison that was sent as an email attachment, and then the budget, it looks like our assessment charges are down greatly from 2024. My question is, Why? Why is our assessment charge so much less? Are people just not paying their dues? It's under, income, assessment charges.
Not a full year. Okay.
Yeah, I see what he's talking about. Yeah, we had to look at a cash, Val had a cash one, I had on a accrual basis. Yeah, the assessments are down because we have if anybody's been here around for a pretty good while, if you notice, like, let's say 5 years ago, we know when the treasury report came out 5 years ago, there was a bad debt line on the state, on the report. It had like an 81 outside it, and then it had, what, $90,000. That was basically, we do have people that don't pay their assessments. And then we try to collect as many as we can by putting a lien or everything, and then if it doesn't get collected in so much time, it has to be wrote off, because the accounting firm says, not Jamie, but the accountants themselves, the lawyer says, that does it used to be XR, that used to be foreclosures, said it was not, after 3 years, a lot of that is just considered bad debt and you can't collect it. So I do have a sheet still here that I had at the last meeting. It has September and August on it. We do collect roughly ACHs and deposits on everything. Roughly, it takes 120,000, or right at 122,000 to balance each month. That's assessments, that's other income. But we only did 116 the month of September, or 120. So most people pay, like I explained it to Sandy and I explained to other people, most people pay their assessments in January, or lost no burrs. And then come August, September, October, November, that's when you get collect the lowest amount. And we do have people, we have probably, I'll say 15 that was non-sufficient funds the month of October, and Jamie sent out notices along with Doreen, or she's taught Doreen how to do it. So we try to collect when we send out notices. We will send us whatever you want to do. But not everybody pays, and not everybody, some people, when they sell their house, I've learned from experience, they want to get out from underneath it, so they sell it to the relative that inherits it. And they don't bother telling them that there's a HOA fee. And they don't pay it till we find out about it. 6 or 8 months later, we had a house, for example, 2 ladies bought it, paid cash for it, and we didn't even know it changed hands at that time. So it took about 6 to 8 months to figure it out if somebody turned it in, like a neighbor told them they paid for it.
Okay, so that kind of explains the first, that we just don't have people paying.
Yeah.
But those of us who do pay in January, that money should still be allocated monthly for your income.
Right, it used to be that way before, probably, it was that way up until probably 22 and 23 got changed. Because it used to be, we used to have 2 business accounts. We had an operating account, and then we had a money market account as well at Brand Bank. And what I'll say, I have to use the number, 1604 was the operating. And then the other account would say have $250,000, and it would be those extra assessments. And what we do is when 1604 would get low, we would write a check out of that to increase the amount in 1604. But what happened is in 23, they did away with that account, or they used every bit of it to invest it. And that's why I have the paper right here. I got it with me. Okay, well, I don't have the 23 with me, but you can tell with the 23, you can see that all the money got invested that was in every operating account, except for 1604, which is the regular one. And then what happened at the end of the year, you can see it on the bank statements. Me and Val looked at it as well. She's backing up on this, that they were using the reserve money to fund the operating, which has a payroll and everything for the months of September, October, November, and December. And then whatever money they used to balance to pay the payroll and stuff, they put back in there and made it a reserve payment. And it's like reserves paying operating back to reserves, except it wasn't the exact same amount. It was like half of it or a quarter of it. And it needs to be, I agree, it needs to go back to two accounts, one operating and one take the excess, and you won't have a new board or whoever comes in March, you won't have them think that we got a ton of money, because you're gonna need that money for August, September, October, and November.
Well, not being a budget person myself, I think that makes sense to people who do know more than I do. But one last question. I think at the last meeting, Catherine indicated that there was a potential solution for our operating funds deficit. Has that been fixed, and what was it? Can we be told that?
Oh, I believe I can explain that. We tried to get a loan based on the CDs from Edward Jones that we were using as collateral. And when we talked to the attorney, he said, no, it's reserved. So we cannot, that was the option we had. And they were willing to loan us up to $875,000. I believe was the dollar amount. We wasn't wanting that much. But when we talked to the attorney about it, he said no. And so what we did is we basically, right now, we've cut things farther back, as far as we're waiting until the very last minute to let's say buy toilet paper or paper towels. But that's the way it's been. And plus, we've looked at other things like trying to get, like, defer some of the payments, like insurance does have to be paid on the 15th of this month, because we know there's a payment of $24,000. Can it be paid the 1st of January, or how long can we put it off? And me and Val to compare things with 24 and the payroll especially. And we know the payroll is probably $5,000 to $6,000 less a pay period now than it was in 24. So we think that's going to be about $30,000. And we got one more option as well. We paid a premium for Citizens back in August. We're supposed to get a refund for that, because when we switched the slides, they gave us that set rate for 15 months. That we're supposed to get that premium back from Citizens, because Citizens was going to switch the slides anyway. So that may be a refund of $24,000. But we don't know exactly when that is coming. So we've looked at this thing. We know we don't have the reserve payments. There's no way to pay the whatever it is, $560,000 or $560,000 for the year. But we think we're gonna end up with, after subtracting the insurance payment off on the 15th, the payroll and expenses probably gonna be, because we're not sure how many we can defer yet. We deferred some of them. But we got a balance right here, I got it right here, I just printed it off this morning. It's $60,000 in the operating, which is 1604.
Okay, so the urgency is gone for the moment.
No, it's still there, but there's nothing we can do, basically, except cut back.
Okay, I guess you've answered my question. Thank you, Jared.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Jackson, and I have a couple questions. First of all, every person that comes in here pays for their own background check. Why is there a line item for $30,000 proposed next year for background checks? You guys don't pay for them, we pay them when we come in.
It's an employee, we have to pay the employee
We
background
spend
checks.
$30,000 for employee background checks, then, no.
No.
Most of you have been here forever, you don't do a background check every year.
May I answer your question?
Sure.
Okay, we have to, when we take the money in, we have to put it into an income account. And then there's also an expense account for background checks. And that's when we pay the company that does the background checks.
But you've already collected us from us. Why do you have a $30,000 proposed budget for something that every individual that moves in here has already paid?
Because it is offset in the expense. You have income and then you have the expense. So you took the money in, but you paid it out under expense.
So where does it show on here that you took the money in?
Well, on the income sheet, it does.
Specifically under background checks, I did not see that. The other thing is,
And I found it. So 5225-01 is background. And in 2024, the actual was paid out $19,742. We expect that this year we're going to pay out $25,000. So, and again, it's usually at least 30 days in arrears because of the billing.
second thing is the estoppel fees. Again, when people move into here, when they go and settle on their homes, they're paying those estoppel fees to you to get a listing of what's past due. I know because I work in that business, and I know because when I moved in here, year before last, I paid the estoppel fees. So why is there a line item expense for estoppel fees? Is it the same way that you manage the background check?
No, because estoppel fees are allowed to be charged because they incur labor charges. So that would come under wages.
So you're double charging the budget. You're charging for estoppel fees that are paid for by the new homeowner, and then you're also charging under the category of wages.
We are receiving income, per se, on our books for estoppel fees. And we need that income because we have to pay out when we process those estoppels. And that, we don't keep track of every half hour of our employees that they have to click on, oh, I'm doing estoppels right now. We just pay them a wage.
It looks like there's a lot of money being wasted. The third thing that I have, why do we have a $500,000 budget almost for code enforcement, and I see nothing on here for security?
We do not have security.
Then why can't we cut back on code enforcement, which is basically a tattletale system to make sure that we don't break the tiniest of rules? Why do you have to have code enforcement from 11 o'clock? Why do you have to have it 24 hours?
Because we have access control at the gate, and that takes up a huge chunk. But we also have code enforcement that goes out and does ACC approvals for construction that's
I
going
understand that,
on.
but you don't do it at night. and I see your trucks wandering around all times of the night.
We did eliminate the nighttime truck, so that was part of the budget cuts.
And so it's still showing up that you're spending almost $500,000 on code enforcement. And nothing on security. Why don't we have any security? And has that fence been fixed that's down between the communities?
I don't know about the fence, but,
Well, wouldn't you think that if you have a person at the gate and you have an open fence in the back, that somebody needs to get it fixed? Whether we all pitch in ourselves and go do it, I don't care. But you basically have no security, so what's the point of the gate? And people walking in, they're not gonna walk in by the guard. I've seen people come off the street and walk in through the exit. So what good is it? You need a double gate system where residents can get in, and like most communities, an automated system to put your driver's license in if you're a visitor and have it come back out, and then you know where somebody's going. And I've been working real estate for many major builders for over 40 years. And that is what most communities have, an automated system. Half the time, and when you start getting the shopping center people there, how fast do you think that those few guards at the gate are gonna be working? You would have a one-time expense to put in an automated driver's license reading. They would have to punch in a number that whatever the address is, and then it would be done. And you would not have a backup, because it takes about 30 seconds to put your license in and have it fed back out. They've got a picture of the person that comes through. That is security.
Jeanette, what unit are you in?
6.
I like your ideas, and I think we should spend some more time finding out where we could find out about these other systems and research them. So it was an excellent idea. Thank you.
Hi, Sheila Walsh, Unit 3. We bought 2 brand-new trucks, and great that we gave one to maintenance to use. Why does these security or code enforcement need a truck that was how many thousands of dollars? They don't need it. Let them go back to their little car. They don't put nothing in the back of that truck. All they do is go around and say, oh, this house has mold. They would like to have a deck, but we don't want it to be more than 2 feet this way or 2 feet that way. You have to read all of Hernando County's new rules that they have for HOAs. A lot of the stuff we do here is not legal anymore. But we do not need $15,000, $20,000 truck. Sell it and put it into something.
Okay, I think I can talk on that, because I was the one that was president of the board then in 2021.
I remember.
When that truck was bought, and we spoke about those cars.
You were not the president when those 2 trucks were bought.
Yes, I was.
You weren't, because
I was.
they were bought 3 years
We
ago.
bought one in October and November of 21. We bought the second one in January and February of 22. I was president up until March of 2022. Those trucks had a lifetime warranty. Those cars had over 100,000 miles on each one of them. The transmission was coming out of one of them, didn't have first gear. Air conditioner didn't work on the other one. The windows wouldn't roll down. Some of the gears were messed up. Those cars were not made to go 20 miles an hour.
No, I'm not saying
The
that you
trucks were
shouldn't
geared
have a
lower,
truck.
plus the trucks had a lifetime warranty on them. We explained that at board meeting. We showed the contracts with the dealer, how those trucks were bought, and they both had a signed contract of a lifetime warranty.
Well, you take away the insurance, the regular maintenance, tires they don't pay for, inspections, for tune-ups and stuff, they don't pay for that stuff. They pay for the major things.
So
why don't they get a car that we
But you're
go?
spending almost $20,000 a year on maintenance on those cars. That made no sense to keep buying a four-cylinder car that's not made to go 25 miles an hour in fourth-lane drive at fourth gear.
They're selling 2026 cars now that can do that. That's 4 years or 5 years, and it doesn't make sense. They drive around and do absolutely nothing. You know, this one has a hedge that's too high. That's, you know, you go over and you tell them. You don't have to write it up, paperwork.
Okay, I want to say this right here. Maintenance, vehicle maintenance on the trucks. 522904 is the line number. We have spent this year on the trucks $615.11. That is what we spend on the trucks.
I'm not saying that you
So
don't
why would
pay a lot
I
of
want to sell a
maintenance.
truck?
How much insurance do you pay on those trucks?
I
How
can't,
much did
I
it
can't
cost
tell
to
you
put
what.
all that writing on the truck? And they're not secure.
We didn't put the writing on the truck.
They didn't come that way, because when they first came here, they didn't
That was
have all
done-
that
That was
stuff.
done by a previous board. We had put magnetic signs on there back in 21 when they were bought. They, in 23, they was wrapped and everything by a previous board in 23. In 20
Well, I'm not saying that you did it. I'm just saying there's no need to have a $15,000, $20,000 truck. Why don't you get a small, it doesn't have to be a Kia, but a small, even electronic or hybrid would save you money. Anything. True, one of those big golf carts. Because they don't use it for helping anybody do anything. If they see somebody on the side of the road that needs packages put in their truck and stuff, they don't take anything, nothing. I mean, that's truly a waste of money. How much money could you sell those trucks for? And save money? You know, I'm just saying, you got a budget that does not make sense. You really don't. And the maintenance, those poor guys, I understand that they have to, and I spoke to the board the other day. You know, they have to mow the middle going down the boulevard, and then they edge. Well, there's no grass and there's no edge. They need to take care of the property when people come in here and they see hedges up and down, no grass, leaves everywhere, a broken fence out here for how many months? You can take pictures of that for insurance. You don't need to leave something like that. I'm just saying, I don't mind paying the $5 more, but I can't see you wasting that money. Sorry to take up your time.
Robin Napier, Unit 3. The other day, Jerry, Jamie, Sandy, and I had a meeting, and we talked about the budget. We were going over some things and trying to figure out what we could do to maybe fix our problem. Have you got anything for us, Jerry? Well, Jamie let me know yesterday that she did, so, I mean, I'm assuming, maybe I shouldn't do that, but
I'll have to get with Jim because I don't know what y'all talked about yesterday, so I can't.
it wasn't yesterday. It was a meeting that you, me, Sandy, and Jamie had. It was in the conference room. Catherine was there.
Right,
Are you with me? You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, I mean, those are, I've already discussed those a while ago, is what we're trying to do is.
Well, not really, because we had come up with an idea, and she told me yesterday that it was probably going to be happening and that she was going to talk about it. No,
I don't, if you talked to her yesterday, like
I
I said,
did. Well, she told me that she had talked to the attorney, and the attorney thought it was okay. Why didn't we think of it before then?
obviously she didn't talk to me, so I don't know what y'all talked about.
Where is Jamie? Is she not here today?
She's working.
Working? Okay. Well, if you recall what we had come up with, maybe I'll refresh your memory. It was the money is already over there in reserve. Why
Oh,
would we?
okay, I see, I got you now.
All right.
All right.
Hello. I woke him up.
Okay,
Oh, thank you,
I
Jesus.
can't address that. Okay, we're talking about the spectrum money. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Thank
Okay,
you.
my understanding is the spectrum money, because it went into reserve to start with, it can't be used for operating, but it can pay the back payments of the reserve, like the missed payments this year, the missed payments last year. It can be done, that's correct, I forgot about the spectrum money. But, so from going forward though, it won't be separated on any papers as a spectrum money from now on. It'll be just reserves. So,
I don't care if you put it in as toenails. It don't matter. If we can take care of that and not have to worry about 24, 25, and she said all the way into 26, my God, that's a lot of money we've saved.
well, yeah, it's gonna be, unless, the only thing that we worry about is, we do know where probably, I'll say, was it 700,000 now? Remember, we know that 400 some's in the CDs. And then there's, but then we got 250 or so that's in Capital City. But there's one other bank, they're trying to, it has a stopping point like it ever Jones, like it doesn't show on the statement that one was put anywhere. It just says closed out. It was the bank in Maine. And that's the one that I guess the sheriffs have to find out where exactly that money went. So, but it doesn't have a trail. It doesn't have, say on Edward Jones, this is transferred to such and such.
But at this point, what I'm trying to say is, we won't have to take money out of the account to pay reserves.
Yeah.
All the way up to 26. So that loosens up about 60,000 a month, right? Thank you.
10 months, yes.
You should pay for the new, should be able to make payroll.
Well, that's it, we can't use it for operating, so it can make up payments that we were supposed to make on the whatever the dollar amount was for this year. No, it can't be used for that. It has to be, stay in reserves, has to be used for something in reserves.
Now, what I'm saying, Jerry, is the money that you were needing
Look
for
at the
reserves
party out.
every month, we hold up.
Correct.
100 and some thousand a month we need. 60 of that we will not need right now because it's already over there.
Correct.
So that 60,000 now is,
We don't have to worry about paying reserves, correct.
right, so if you don't have to pay reserves, that means less 60,000 on the accounting or the, expense, or no, the operating expense side.
Correct.
Well,
So
but
you
we
should
do-
be able to come up with payroll.
wait a minute.
Yes.
I think I need to explain this a little different. Because it's not talking in circles or anything, so there's no point in saying that the payroll was $62,000. The average money we take in is 59. That's 121,000. But it doesn't count the 50, well, it'd be 58 next year, but 58,000 that's supposed to be paid into reserves every month. I'm not counting that in that figure of 121. That technically, we're supposed to come up with 171 to make that. So all the spectrum money going is paying that 60 $60,000 that we're supposed to pay in the reserve payment every month. It doesn't go against this payroll, it doesn't go against the expenditures every month. That money doesn't work that way.
Okay, you guys finished? I have a couple. How long did we hire Jamie for? Because originally you guys said 3 months, and she's still here, so that's why I was asking her. This CPA Jamie.
She's, as far as I know, we're continuing to keep her
Okay,
on a part-time basis, continuing as our accountant. We're not gonna hire someone else now to do that. We're gonna keep her on.
just checking. Are we going to be hiring another office manager?
A GM?
Yes, we do.
GM, yes. We are still in search of that, yes.
Question about the walk-in gate. Ever since I've been here, and that'll be 2 years in December, it has been broken with this new development going out there. I think it's really important that that is fixed, so just not anybody can walk in. Because there's no connection, there's no checking on who comes in it. People just wander in and out.
One of our maintenance people, Sean, is going to fix that.
Okay, I'm real concerned with all that big development going out there. There's gonna be a lot
I am too.
of people. What is the HOA Association's attorney's name?
Steve Mezer, M-E-Z-E-R.
And just to clarify, he is the actual HOA organization's attorney. I've worked for attorneys in court my whole life.
Yes.
He's not the board's attorney. Just to clarify that. He represents everyone in here.
Yes.
In the HOA.
Yes, he
Understand
does.
that, right? Okay. Yes. And then last meeting, I mentioned that we were doing the CPR class. I assumed that was putting it in front of you guys to view yay or nay to let us know. Now, we did cancel it because we didn't have enough sign up because it was a short period of time. We are having another CPR scheduled for Heart Month, February 14th. Mike is going through the channels to present it. I'm just confused why you guys didn't say something at that point, because I assume that's when I was presenting it versus getting a phone call the day of.
From listening to that meeting, we did say you have to bring it to the board. You have to bring paperwork, we have to talk about it, and then at the next meeting, it has to be voted on.
You did not say that. That was not
Okay.
mentioned.
But I have talked to Mike now, and he knows now,
But
what has to be.
I don't understand why someone wouldn't have said that at that.
It should have been said.
It was not. So it was just like, oh, okay, that sounds great. That was all I got. So, and it was, someone called the day of what would have been the CPR and said you can't have it. Okay, they had known for over 3 weeks. They couldn't have called earlier. That was kind of like rude. Because this is a community thing that we're doing for the community, because we're all older. It's very important that we have people trained in CPR, first aid, defibrillator, the AED. It's extremely important. We get together in functions, and something can happen at any time. I have done CPR twice in my life. It's important that people know this.
Definitely is important.
And it's only gonna be $25, and the $25 just pays for your card. That's it. She's doing it for free. It just pays for the card that you're carrying around. I encourage as many people as possible to sign up for this class. Well, this is for your card that you can carry. If you don't want a card, then it wouldn't, but she has to cover expenses for the printers, and that's what it is. But we'll do the paperwork. It's for February 14th. We've scheduled 1 class. If we get enough signups, she'll do 2. And we'll give you all the information you need this time. But next time, if someone comes up here and says something, inform them if there's something they need to do.
Agreed.
Because not
I
everybody knows all your
agree.
rules.
That should have been very clear.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Joyce Fox. I live over here on Scepter. We moved in
in June. We moved in June. Okay, we moved in as a renter for 5 days because I had to pay an extra fee to the old homeowner. But right now, we bought the house on June the 25th. We bought the house on June 25th. Okay, everybody can hear me now? I could probably talk louder than this. But anyway, I didn't want to blow you all away. So they still have us come through the gate. They still have us as a renter. Okay? I got a very nasty text last night from someone in this community who says renters can't vote, renters can't put your ballots in. Now, I've gone to the office every month and paid my HOA dues. I've gone to the office and paid every month the RV dues. So I've been up there maybe 2-3 times a month and collected the little.
And have you let them know you're no longer renting, that you're
May
the owner?
knows, and I talked to the other lady there. She gave me the book. Welcome to Brookridge. You know what? You all have a problem communicating with each other, and then communicating with everybody here. My other issue is.
If I get your name.
Joyce Fox, Joseph Fox, Carol Johnson. There's 3 of us that live at that house. She didn't have any problem when my daughter was bringing her dog home from a hospital with a problem and throwing up in her car, giving her a ticket for going 2 miles or 3 miles over the speed limit. Boy, you took that $50 quick. But nobody can get anything else straight. My other issue is you're talking about $20,000 for a truck. I just bought 2 years ago a 2023 Nissan with $67,000. The insurance is like $2,000 or $3,000 a year. So if you get rid of one of those trucks, you can get your money back. And your insurance will go way down because the insurance is not any cheaper up here than it was in Tampa. And then there's the other issue. On those big trucks, every time you go out, it says, fill me up, I'm hungry. Even with BJ's at $2.50 a gallon, any place else they get it filled up, it's almost $3. So all these little things don't mean a whole lot individually, but when you add them all up, there's a lot of people in this community who $5 more per month, per lot, can't afford it. They'll go without medication, they'll go without food, they'll go without going to the doctor because they have to pay $5. So I object to that when we're wasting the money that we put in the HOA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Susan Ballesteri, Unit 2. And about a month ago, I sent you the board a packet with some ideas that I had for the board, for the meetings, and I never heard from anyone. And it was addressed to the board. It was a big packet, so it couldn't be lost. And the second thing, and I have a copy, if you need to have another copy, I can get it to you. And the other thing is that fence being broken. First of all, the parents, the children, there were 3 spots as far as I understood for the last meeting. Kids broke it in 2 spots and the parents had to fix that. Was that done? Did the parents fix it? Was that a yes? There's 3 holes. Did the parents fix the spots where their juvenile delinquents broke? I'm gonna call them that. Did they?
When I spoke to the manager over at Stone Ridge, she said the parents were aware and they were taking financial responsibility to fix that fence. That's their fence, and we are not responsible for it. Their tree fell on the fence and made the other hole, and they haven't fixed it. It's not up to us to fix it.
I'm not talking about the tree, I'm talking about the parts of the fence that was broken by the children. There were supposed to be 3 spots that were broken, the tree and 2 other spots for the children.
Exactly. And as I said, the parents are aware and they are taking responsibility. It's up to them to pay to get the fence repaired.
Well, to me, if you gave them a week and they didn't get it, then I think you should call the police.
It's not our responsibility, it's not our fence.
But it's for our community, so if it's not our fence, and we need a community, then we need a new fence. That's gonna be our fence and not theirs if they're not gonna fix it. Because this is like playing a ball game here. If you want a secure development, we need to pay to have that fixed and then go after them for the money. You can't just leave that broken like that and expect this to be a secure place. And I sent you this a week ago, a month ago, suggesting this, and no one got back to me.
Did you dropped off a packet?
That met with Meg, yes, I did. She said she'd get it to you. Now, the
All
other
right,
thing.
I'll check on that. I wrote your name down.
The other thing I want to bring to everybody's attention here is I also put in, unfortunately, a year ago, Gulf Coast has free tie downs for mobile homes that do not have the number of tie downs for hurricane.
I did do that. We are on the list. They will let us know, but they're a year or more out before they get to us.
But we wouldn't have been a year or more out had the other board put it forward.
That is
like they were
absolutely
supposed
true.
to.
You're
So
absolutely
I
right.
just want everybody to know that that is in the works,
Yes.
that they will give
They
free.
did approve us,
And it's
so
all,
we are on the list.
and it's all free. It's done, High Point had it all done, my friend did, and they will do it here also. But I think that we need to pay the money and fix that fence, and then go after those people. Because if your kids break a fence and it's interfering with us, then you need to have the cops at their door. That's what I believe. They have to be responsible. They just can't be given an open menu to, you fix this when you feel like it. You're putting all these people in danger. So if that's the case, we need our own fence, and we need to put one up.
I'll try and contact Sandra again and see what the status is.
It shouldn't just be try, it should be do. And by the next meeting, we should have an answer that fence is repaired completely.
I'll be able to do that.
Find that money from wherever you have to find it, because we cannot.
Well, right now, we don't have the money to fix it.
I know you don't, but we need to get it,
Well,
because that's not
we can look
safe.
at that.
Yeah, sell the trucks and have golf carts. What's the matter with 2 golf carts? They don't cost anything to run, you just plug them in.
With the amount of mileage we have in this community, they are not applicable for that situation.
A golf cart, of course it is, and they don't need air conditioning. You don't use any gas.
You can't put hundreds of thousands of miles on a golf cart. You just can't.
All right, well, yeah, you just get new batteries. Oh, and that's the case, go for the small car and sell those trucks. We need to have that money to fix that fence.
And thank you.
Thank you.
You're absolutely right. Thank you.
I'm back, Melody from Unit 1. What does our sign say out front? The 55, what does it say? Can anyone tell me?
55 plus.
Does it also say gated community?
Yep, yes.
That means the fence. I don't care where it is or whose property it's on. This entire place should be enclosed behind a fence because we are advertised as a gated community. Doesn't say gated golf course community. It says gated Brookridge community. That means the entire damn fence around this whole place. I don't care where it says.
Absolutely right.
I don't care where it says. It needs to be fixed. Or else you take that gated community sign down out front, because you're false advertisement. One or the other. Okay, close this whole place just like it's supposed to be. And I'll tell you, I've got a vested interest in this because I have a protection order against somebody that did physical harm to me. It's not allowed in this community. Trust me, if he finds out there's a hole in it, he'll be in here. And then you're gonna have a sheriff here because I shot the son of a bitch. Okay? Get the fence up. Protect your people in here. That's part of your job. Quit fighting with the damn golf course. Get the fence up.
Anybody else? Come right up.
What qualifications does Jamie have?
We've
To
already,
be the-
it's
You have a
already,
master's degree in accounting?
Is she a CPA?
No.
No. Can she do forensic studies on all our money? Is she qualified to do forensic
Yes.
auditing?
She,
She's not a CPA.
I know the sheriff is doing forensic studies. Jamie, I don't know.
Well, then she's not qualified.
yes,
She
she
is
is.
qualified.
Not-
Yes, she
she's
is.
not a CPA.
She is absolutely qualified.
Just
Yes,
because
she's
she-
qualified because she is getting, as of yesterday, she spent yesterday getting evidence to give to the sheriff's department.
I
And
don't
that's
have,
what she's doing this morning as well.
I don't have a problem with her being the accountant or whatever you want to call her, but she's not a CPA.
And
She's
she's
not
working with our
certified.
CPAs.
With our CPA. She is not a CPA as far as I know.
And who is
I-
our CPA then?
The name is Jones and Company. Is it Jones and Company? Jones and Company.
Now, the treasurer, what qualifications do you have to be a treasurer on the board? I'm just asking because resumes go out. What is the qualification?
Resumes go out. Yes, resumes go out. That's true.
Right, so,
Qualifications, some kind of background in accounting or finance.
and Jerry,
Business.
what's your qualification?
I have an accounting degree from a local university there it used to be Forsyth Tech, but then it changed to Forsyth Community College in the early 80s.
Okay, so Jerry is a
And I
certified,
worked 10 years as operations manager for a grocery store chain. And my job there was to go into each store, do inventory control in those stores, set up the pricing system, and control the shrink in those stores.
I know, my husband is an operations
Who gives a
manager.
shit?
No, I was just asking, if he's certified accountant, why do we have to pay a certified accountant?
Because you don't trust this one.
Oh, I know.
Jerry doesn't have a master's degree in accounting.
But with all his background, and if he's a certified
And
accountant,
he's unpaid. I don't know how many hours he wants to put towards this.
well, he probably
but
already puts 10 hours
he
a
can't.
day. I'm just saying, why would you have to have two certified? If he's
Tell
certified,
us,
He's
Jerry.
not certified.
I just want to know, I'm not
Fucking annoying.
supporting that he's a certified.
It kind of, wouldn't it be if, like, Jamie is our checks and balances. If we had one person on the board doing the accounting, wouldn't it be a conflict of interest? Just
Come on, duh.
because it's a conflict of interest. Why shouldn't we have checks and balances? So Jamie is our checks and balances.
We can't hear you. No.
We could, but we picked Jerry. We would have a master's accountant now, no matter who is the treasurer.
No, actually, I'm not the bookkeeper. Jamie has worked with May, Doreen, and Dawn and teach them how to do different things on QuickBooks, QuickBase, and that kind of stuff.
Not to put May down, but you can't even after 7 years get my email right.
Well, speaking of the email part is all, it's not just May. The email problem has been here for as long as I can remember, because when it first went with whoever was doing it 5 years ago, I remember it not taking, like sending emails to people who had, say, rr.com or yahoo.com. It wasn't sending them to those people. So when I see people post on Facebook about not getting emails, there's always been some that's not going to get emails that either overloads the system. I don't know what's going on with it now.
Brevco Revo is working with us to try to fix it. They said the system is overloaded. They have given us instructions on how to possibly fix it. And we are working on that. Catherine was starting today or tomorrow, now that we have instructions, how to fix the system. Mine's a Gmail account and I don't get the emails. So it's, you don't need to keep giving it to us. It's the system, it's not. No.
Oh my God. She just told you.
I can't account for that.
Thank you. I want to go back to my suggestion to the board concerning the forensic audit. There is a difference between the forensic work that the sheriff's department does and the forensic accounting firm. And the forensic accounting firm can zero in on the problems from the accounting, from the bookkeeping, as far back as you need to go. But they will pinpoint it to the dollar. County government offices, if they have problems in their accounting areas, they have forensic accounting firms that can come in there and they, I don't know if they're on contract or what, but they are designated for doing that, and they don't rely on the sheriff's department or law enforcement to do that forensic type of work that they need.
And we have voted on it. People voted to have a forensic audit. All it takes is money. And we don't, right now, have the money to do a forensic audit.
Well, just think about it. We're talking about money that we need.
We know.
We don't know.
That's why we're starting. We found a place to start. We had to find a place to start that did not cost us money. And we found that place to start. We'll see what they come up with, and then maybe that will help us pay for an actual forensic audit. But, I mean.
But you know what, it's, when you were talking about selling a truck to fix a fence, think about selling a truck to get a forensic audit firm in here to do the actual auditing work that needs to be done to get to the bottom of it.
That's what's
kind of what you're gonna get.
There's been some really, really good recommendations. I mean, none of us are one person, so we would actually have to come together and have a vote as a whole board. And
that's the way to get to the bottom of it. Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you all for facing us, because it can't be an easy job. And I know that some of us have been more people, but there's a lot of frustration in this community. And the main problem here is that their priorities are screwed up. Number one priority should be security. Okay, the other things that we wasted money on, you know, I can't even tell you, if they just raised the speed limit 5 miles an hour, you would not have a gazillion violations that code enforcement has to spend money to collect for 1 or 2 or 3 miles.
it's a residential community with people walking, people dog walking.
That's true, but
We
if you're-
can't raise the speed limits. That would probably not end well for many pedestrians.
I understand that that's what you believe, but most communities, and I've lived in 5 different HOAs, the 30-mile-an-hour is draconian. It's ridiculous. My car, I have to take my foot, and I have a Prius, which is by nature slow as hell. I have to take my foot completely off the gas and ride the brake to do 30 miles an hour. There are several inclines in this community, and I have tracked them. I do. I set my cruise control at 28.
That's what I set
And
mine
it goes
on.
up to 32 in some areas. It comes back down to 25. No, cruise control is not the answer. Well,
I use
God
my
bless you. I'm just
brakes.
saying there are things
Yeah, I watch
that can be shifted financially to, and what about doing like fundraisers in the community? You guys don't even allow any kind of yard sales or anything like
No,
that?
we can't,
Why can't you?
because it's in our governing documents that we
Okay,
can't.
so in essence, what you've got is a bunch of people with a bunch of junk stashed in their house that can't get rid of it. You could charge for a certain amount of tables.
That's gonna be on a vote. We're having that put on a vote. When you vote for the people on the board, that's gonna be one of the items that's put forth for a vote.
And when is that?
Whether to
vote? Just
approve,
when?
that goes out next year.
So next year, there's no community yard sale. There are so many ways to raise money that it would not impact people that could not afford the increase. I don't care about the increase. But there are a lot of people that do care about that increase, and they're living on a string now with higher grocery prices, insurance prices, everything like that. We just need to figure out a better way to do this because the priorities
Agreed.
here are screwed up. I mean, I get talked to by code enforcement because my sod, which has to sit by itself, had to grow for 30 days before I could get it cut. So I got threatened that I had to get it cut early, which caused it to die in a few spots. But I've got a person near me that's got the most hideous color house, and there's others with 9,000 statues of gnomes and crap in the yard, and that's not against the code?
That they probably have gotten letters.
They haven't disappeared.
Just because we
If the
give somebody a fine, doesn't mean they have to pay it or fix it.
If the purpose of code, oh no, it does mean you have to fix it, because otherwise your little rules say that you can take away our privileges.
Yes, they have privileges taken away. Some people don't care about that.
That you've got to go through the guest line again, inconveniencing you, which is ridiculous.
True.
You pay your dues, you should be able to drive in here.
True.
You pay your dues, you should be able to enjoy whatever amenities you use, which I use exactly one.
True.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't use any. So I'm just saying that somebody really needs to sit down and look at the way code enforcement has treated residents. And if it takes this community, put out a notice for a community to volunteer to help fix that friggin' fence if we have no money. But the damn security is primary. There are people that have been shot in this community.
We're understanding
There are houses that were set on
I think
fire
we're
in the middle of the
understanding
night.
that. Is everybody understanding this? Do you understand how important the fence is? Would everybody, do you understand?
Okay,
We understand.
understanding it and getting it done is two different things, not just.
That's absolutely true.
So if you can't get it done and we don't have any money, ask for volunteers.
Okay.
We'll all come together. It's our community and we'd like to be safe in it.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm not gonna shoot anything or at anybody, just a recommendation. And this is from personal experience. I was a senior vice commander of VFW. My post got into disastrous financial straits. Hurricane Milton came and tore the roof off. Ruined our air conditioning, ruined our electrical system. We were in danger of having it condemned and torn down. I got a hold of a wonderful wonderful organization called the Service Corps of Retired Executives, SCORE. They came in free and just gave me some solid, this is where we think you should start. Didn't cost me a cent, not one penny. Long story short, roof is fixed, air conditioning is fixed. The electrical system is being worked on as we speak. And we're finally in the black for the first time in 18 years. So, give them a shot.
More than that. Gotta do more than just write it down.
That's a start, right? I can't do anything right this minute.
Call them us.
I'll get on the phone right.
Joe.
Becky Cornwall, Becky Cornwall, Unit 4. I have a question. After reading the article in the News and Views about where our money has gone, the facts from the board.
Oh my God.
Okay, the 2 employees who got insurance payments for their spouses for $7,000. Is that employee still here?
No.
Two or three people borrowed things and didn't return them. Are they still employed?
No,
Sam's Club and Amazon orders going to 5 separate addresses. Are those people employed? Who are these separate people?
we can't name them, but
I don't want to know.
it's no longer happening. Let's put it that way. That's no longer happening and it's being investigated.
And pool chemicals being shared. All of this is being investigated.
Yes.
And these people, no one is employed by us.
No longer, no.
Will any criminal action be taken against these people?
Hopefully.
Okay.
It's under investigation, that's all we can say.
That's what I'm concerned about. These people should not have anything to do with operating our organization.
We absolutely agree with that.
Thank you.
Is there anybody on YouTube, Kelly?
There was just, there's one comment from Brenda McMahon. Thanks, Jerry and the board, for providing us with all the information we need. Please keep donating to the RV compound. We donated $250, received a thank you card and a receipt from the admin office.
Is there anything from Richard Weiss on YouTube?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Susan Ballesteri again. How about GoFundMe?
No.
People know how to do that. I'm not very good at it. I've tried at my church. It takes businesses can use the platform for emergency financial assistance, such as for rent, employee, health insurance, or other operational expenses. And people who know how to do that do a good job.
We are a not-for-profit, and so we're not allowed to do that kind of thing. We can't do fundraisers.
Are you a nonprofit?
Not for profit.
What's the difference? It
It's-
says individual businesses and nonprofit organizations. Well, you're certainly a business.
We're a not-for-profit business.
Well, I certainly would look into it if you know someone who knows how to do it, because it's quite a thing to raise money.
Is Brookridge running in the red or the black, and by how much? Yeah, what's the bottom line here?
Well, I would say, no, you're saying that. I was gonna say black because it's simple.
We're black, so we got plenty of money then.
No, it's not plenty of money, it's just the fact is when the attorney said that about the spectrum money, because it wasn't allocated before, but it was put in reserves. When he says it has to stay in reserve and it's taking up the payments that were missed for the last 2 years, right, plus this year, then we're in the black. Because it's taking up all those payments that have been missed. So the spectrum money did put us in the black. But we were probably in the red before that with the based on the operating. We still don't have enough. I'm not sure we got enough money to make it till January the 1st. That's why I'm saying, because we know that we got the insurance payment is due next week. We got a payroll coming out next week as well, but then we got assessments coming in next week for the ACHs. Plus, I don't know how many of this $60,000 that we pay out each month for expenses like lights and stuff, how much of that we can defer till January. People have come in the office, and I'll say, I don't know the lady's name, but she said she represented like 8 or 10 of her neighbors. They were wanting to pay the assessments for a year. I told her to wait till after the vote, because I don't want you to pay $50 in now, or whatever it is, what is it, 600, right? So I don't want to pay 600 now, and then turn around and come back in and have to pay the rest of it if it passes and goes to $55. So she's gonna wait till December, and she's wanting to do that.
You talk that spectrum money. We're always told we can't use that for anything. We can only use X amount a year. Why is it considered part of the reserve money? It shouldn't be, because we basically don't have it.
Well, what it is when they're telling you they can only use a certain amount, that turned out not to really be the case, because we already paid the commission on it. And with it being in reserves, I don't even think you gotta pay taxes on it now. So that's when that didn't get thought through enough at the time. So technically you can use every bit of it.
So we can use that money.
Yes, and that's what it's
for anything that we want and how much.
No.
It's always been in reserves, so it has to stay in reserves. But it can't, because that's just the rule. Once it's in reserve, we could use it, like when it's in reserve, you can use it to pave roads or whatever, but now we have to use it to pay as reserve money, so that we now don't have to worry about for 10 months taking 64,000 or whatever it is every month to try to pay the reserve fee.
That's not helping your rearage, is it?
It is helping, because we don't have 64,000.
Are we still 10 months out for reserve that you were talking about?
Not if we're using the spectrum money, no.
So we're even with the board.
We're even with reserves.
No, we owe them nothing, right?
Correct.
For this year.
If we use, yes. By using the spectrum money, yes. If we don't, then we have to try to come up with the 64,000, whatever it is, every month to try to pay reserves, which we don't have that money to do that. That's why the attorney said this was our only alternative.
But you can only use so much in that a year. So
No, that's not true. Once the commission's been paid and it's in reserves, it's there.
Well, we were told from the beginning that you're going to use X amount of dollars per year.
I know that's what you were told.
So when did that change that nobody told us?
Once they spoke with the attorney about this.
Well, none of us knew about it. We should.
We just found out about it week, 2 weeks ago. That's when we found out about it.
I think it's time for a new lawyer. This guy ain't really doing
But
nothing
he
for us.
didn't-
He doesn't give us any information on stuff that we have, that we should know about. Every time something comes up, it's the lawyer, but we hear absolutely nothing after that.
Well, we just found out about it less than 2 weeks ago, so.
Only because we asked the question. We asked the question to him, what about this? And he gave us the answer.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sandy and Ronnie, probably for saying that the other week, because that question was asked then, and they straightened it out. Because we believed, as anybody else believed, that we couldn't use that spectrum money whatsoever. Even when they first signed the contract to get the spectrum money last year, it was fed to all of us that we only could use $64,000 of it a year, and that turned out to not be true. So if you're gonna get upset with somebody, you really need to get upset with the people that made that decision last year.
Sally Litchfield, Unit 4. Just to get off the subject of the budget for a minute, I just wanted to remind everybody, on Veterans Day, on the 11th, we're having a ceremony outside the clubhouse. And at the end of the ceremony, everyone is invited in for coffee and donuts. And we hope a lot of people will come and support our veterans and honor them. And the other thing is our Toys for Tots boxes have been delivered. We have one at the clubhouse and we have one at the admin building. And anybody is invited to drop off any please unwrapped toys for kids for Christmas. Hernando County has been very generous every year and we hope it continues. Thank you. 9 o'clock on Tuesday, the 11th. Thank you.
Not on the calendar.
Carolyn Hyde, Unit 3. I just have a question about Richard. He's hardly ever here attending, well, I know he doesn't live here full time. But how many more meetings is he going to miss before we do something about it? Because what good is having him if he's not here or listening?
We've sent him a letter. He has never acknowledged the letter. And he attended one meeting.
Another one, they said.
So he broke the cycle, that's right.
No good, and this always seems to be something like, why have his name up there?
Well, right now we have to just follow the bylaws and we have to, legally, we have to keep doing this right now.
Even if he never participates in a meeting.
Well, no, he did break the cycle. He participated in a meeting, so now it has to be 3 meetings again. 3.
We need a digital.
There's a YouTube comment.
Okay, go ahead.
The person is James Bennett. When will we see final audit, which is now well overdue? No further excuses, please.
What does he ask? Is he asking what year? He's not. Well, I'm right now, it would be, technically it'd be 24, we'd be doing audit on it if we'd be doing it. But until this investigation is over with and stuff, until they tell us how much money they feel like we've lost as far as what's been stolen, borrowed, or whatever, or then.
He just typed 2024, the year 2024.
Yeah, the CPA is just recently just finished with what they were doing in that year, and they were still making adjustments on it as well. But, I mean, the main goal of us up here are wanting to make, or I'm talking for me, I didn't want to spend no money whatsoever on anything until they got this Friends Garden. And then it turned out to be certain things, and then there was investigation on us for, started out, and then he recommended, the detective recommended going in this direction, so we went in this direction. So, and then what all we found as well. So, we don't know exactly how it's gonna turn out. We've not been given an update on it. We do know yesterday, like I said, he asked for more information involving a different time frame. So I want to know what he's found out for 24 and 23, but I do know he's trying to go back to 2017.
Have you asked him? Have you asked him?
We put in a call, we're supposed to have another meeting with him. He's not only working, doing our stuff, but he has other white collar crimes he's investigating as well, so it's not like he's spending all his time on us. So,
A not-for-profit organization, and they have two of them listed, can use GoFundMe if it aligns with the platform's terms of service, but it may not be eligible for the same tax benefits as the registered nonprofits. So anything you get might be tax deductible, but you can get a lot of money. You need someone who knows how to do it, and there are people who do. I'm just not one of them, unfortunately. It's all one word, GoFundMe.
I just have a question. We all got ballots that were supposed to just say yes or no on this budget that you all just put out. Are we gonna get a modified budget before we have to place our ballots? A lot of people that I know are just declining the approval of the budget because they don't like it the way it is, and so you're not gonna modify it or send a correction or anything? Okay, all right, thank you.
Good morning. Vivian Blair, Unit 4. I guess the questions are all done. My question is, Catherine said at the last board meeting, if we had any more people for the election committee, she would swear them in today. I have 2 people here. Is someone available to swear them in?
Okay, but, committee, 2 people serve at the behest of the board. 2 people we've already voted.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Thank you.
2 people have to be approved by the board. Vivian, I believe we've approved 4 people at the last meeting.
That's correct.
So, and it's not a legal requirement to have an oath of office.
Okay.
So
they can start.
So they can start and they'd be legal.
All right. I guess there was a miscommunication. I didn't realize that. Neither did these people. So they can start working. It's Ralph Wilkes and Becky Cornwell. And they both have their application up at the office. I have Ralph's and I think Becky's is still at the office. So those are 2 additional people for the election committee.
Okay.
So they can help with work. Okay? Thank you very much.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn. Jerry second? Okay, meeting adjourned. All those in favor? Yay, yay. Meeting adjourned at 11:40.